Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, episode 88, and where, officially, we now have just 3 rally events remaining, and the first of those is going to be Smoky Mountain Reverse. And well, I've used up most of the rally cars I own up to this point. The only 2 I haven't used that are in my garage so far are officially the Subaru Impreza, normal, and also the Toyota Corolla. And well, since I've already driven the Corolla around Smoky Mountain Reverse, if you may remember watching one of my arcade mode videos, I think for this next one I'm going to use the Subaru Pretzel. And I'm going to do the usual shit by purchasing myself the turbo, because I know that is going to be compulsory for the 7-lap race, and let's get to it. So we have just 3 rally events remaining. We have Smoky Mountain Rally 2, Rally of Alps, Swiss Alps 2, and we also have Special Stage Route 5 Wet Reverse. So, here we are then. So, same prize giving structure as always, and as you may notice on the cover there, it is the exact car I am using for this event. And lo and behold, we are up against the Toyota Corolla. The same car that I used for this track in arcade mode, ironically. Anyways, let's get down to the start of the race. Alright, here we go. First race here in the Smoky Mountain Rally Reverse, and already, as I anticipated, I immediately take the lead following the exit of turn 1. Already up to the second checkpoint, and already I have opened up an interval to the Toyota. So I think it's fair to say that I'm definitely glad, to say at the very least, that I did manage to change my mind in terms of the choice of this event. Oh, yep, okay. I got a really bad exit there off that final corner, right before re-entering the tarmac. I forgot on the reverse course that turn is a right-hander, which ordinarily is the first turn on the forward course, but obviously this is the reverse course. And oh shit! Yep, I really got airborne there, but somehow I still hold on to the lead. And yep, okay, the Toyota's coming. He is not letting me waltz away with this one any longer. And yep, okay. I really got sideways there. I almost thought for sure I was gonna back it into the wall, but somehow I didn't. And contact is made, but I do manage to retake the advantage. And already through the 3rd sector, and this time I will remember to brake before going into the corner, because that is a braking zone. I cannot just go through that corner flat out, and it's pretty much the same case on the forward course. I lead at the end of lap 2. Gap is now less than a second, this time remembering to brake early so I do not get airborne on the jump. And ultimately, this could potentially be my fastest lap if I don't make any additional mistakes to the ones that I've already made in this race so far. Officially, I can now say at the moment I'm just about a second clear of the Corolla, and I actually got a good exit off that corner by shifting down into 4th, and this could potentially be a new PB if I don't get double crossed for the remainder of this lap like I did on the first 2 laps. Anyways, down the front stretch we go. And will this be a new PB? Yes it is. By over 3.5 seconds I set a new PB as a result of setting that much cleaner lap in comparison to the fucking first 2 laps. So there we are. I win race 1 with the Scooby, and all I have to do now is do that 2 more times. And actually, yeah, I will save this replay since I'm thinking about it. I know there's a bingo term for the number 88, but I really don't know what that number is. Yeah, whatever. It might come back to me eventually, but I really don't know what 88 is in bingo. I think it's 2 lucky ladies, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, before I go off on a fucking rant, let's just get on with race number 2. And furthermore, outside my house right now, it is raining, which stereotypically is basically the everyday weather we get here in the UK, and you know, not just in England, but I mean basically in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland as well. If you would account for the entirety of the UK and Northern Ireland as it has been known since 1922. It has nearly been a whole century since we became the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. Because I am cross-referencing the Irish War of Independence as well as the Irish Civil War, which were both events that took place in the early 1920s. And effectively became one of the pinnacle points in causing the Troubles. But I'm not going to go into any further details on that, because some people might be offended if I do. And yep, I really fucked up the exit of that first corner. I just did not have any concentration whatsoever through that. Yep, the Toyota is definitely looking more competitive in this race than it did the previous one. Just fortunate to say that I'm managing to keep up with them. And the Corolla leaves the door open, we're literally side by side as we enter the final corner before the right-hander. The Toyota leads me. We make more contact. I got unlucky under those circumstances, and really trying to get myself back into the game here at Smoky Mountain. And I am now 6/10 behind the Toyota. And this time I do manage to avoid clipping the wall as we head through the tunnel. And it looks as though the corolla hit the dike, from what I can see there. Because I'm pretty sure there's usually a dike that comes between the grass and the mountain. Talking about it's a ditch, but it's most likely to be a dike. And the Toyota leaves the door wide open for me to slot myself in, and ultimately I am now back ahead. And, oh yeah, that was a perfect entry through that right-hander. Anyways, we are back on the start-finish straight once again. And I am leading at the end of 3 laps, starting the penultimate lap now here in race 2 of Smoky Mountain Reverse. I lead by 8.5 tenths over the Toyota. The Pretzel leads the Corolla as the circumstances currently stand. As I'm now heading past the telephone wires pylon. And into the trees we go. Braking hard and also turning hard for the right-hander. We are back onto the tarmac section once again. As we now begin the final lap of race 2. This event is very much looking like it could very well be a clean sweep from what I can work out. Currently leading this by 8/10 of a second. Came very close to clipping the dike as I could see it. And more or less an even entry through that right-hander. And officially it looks as though I am going to beat the Corolla 2 times on the trot here at Smoky Mountain, and I also set a new best lap time in the process of a 1 minute 17.621, and won by 7/10 of a second. So a closer race than the first one was, considering in the first race I won by over a second. I already have a replay saved, so I think I'll be able to get some reasonable shots. Meanwhile, final race, and officially this is where I will need to bolt on the turbo. And even though I did manage to win one rally event without needing the turbo, obviously, this is going to be different because it's not on a course where I am clearly more superior than the AI. Hence the reason on why exactly Route 5 is one of my personal favourite street circuits in the GT series. Anyways, and it's go for race number 3 here at Smokey Mountain Reverse. Pretty much a 7-lap run. In this race. And already at the moment, as a result of me getting the stronger launch than the Toyota through the first corner, I now lead the way in the early stages of this race. And furthermore, yes, the turbo does also limit the amount of speed and acceleration. And yes, as a result of the restrictor plate now being, I think, taken off from me putting the turbo on, ultimately my car is getting more acceleration now. And oh, I definitely got airborne there. I think I might have to overwrite that replay that I saved previously, considering I was literally airborne from that shot from what I could make out once I entered the gravel section. And at the moment, I am doing very well indeed. And already I now have an interval to the Toyota, but again, I am pretty sure he will be looking quick as we head through the final sector, as of which he is already beginning to close in. And he's narrowed it down to 0.7 of a second as we start the third lap here at Trial Mountain, as of which the first corner appears to be one where I am able to get the advantage over the Corolla from what I can empathise, and it appears as though I have the superiority in the first 2 sectors. Well, probably the first 3 sectors, I should say. Because this is where I've looked quick. But then, once we get on to the gravel section, the Toyota really starts to close in. Oh shit. I have no idea how that did not end up getting any worse than it did. Anyways, we're back on to the tarmac section. The Toyota is closing in. There's no point in fighting him. I know he's going to be quicker on the asphalt than myself, or on the tarmac. But once we re-enter the gravel section of the course, which is basically most of this course, then to essentially reversing the contraflow of what the Toyota has in that final sector, I'm ultimately able to officially get the advantageous line. Once we get into the manoeuvrability of these corners. And gap at the moment is pretty much 1.8 seconds, but I have no doubt in saying that interval will shrink. And don't think there's really any point in fighting the Toyota too much up to this point, as I now go for another purple lap time. Oh shit. I think I was a little bit late there on the brakes as I went through turn 1. But fortunately, I am able to stay ahead of the Corolla once we get through into the second and third sectors, because that is ultimately where I have looked quick. And I don't think I'm going to set a sub 1 minute 15 time, as of which I think at the moment that's probably going to be the fastest lap I'll set at them all, judging by what I can see here. And furthermore, yes, WRC cars in the 90s did run on restrictor plates. I'm going to assume, of course, that was to limit the horsepower and speed that they could actually generate, because that's essentially what a restrictor plate does. It basically limits the amount of torque you can get from the engine, which also limits the amount of acceleration and speed that a race car is usually likely to get from the engine. I think that's how a restrictor plate works. It's basically one of the valve covers at the top of the engine block, if you want to know what a restrictor plate is. It basically limits the amount of speed and acceleration that a race car can officially get from its engine, but is ultimately reduced, of course, to a slower speed and velocity as a result of the restrictor plate limiting the amount of horses that the engine rotor is usually able to turn. Anyways, final lap, and the Corolla has definitely looked quicker for the second parts of this race. He has really proven his distinction skills on battling with me. He's basically been getting quicker and quicker lap after lap once we into that tarmac section. This could still end up being a close finish, unless the Toyota spins, and I hope that doesn't happen, because this has been a close race overall. And just hit the dike there, but I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about, because ultimately it doesn't look like I'm going to lose the lead, even though, as a result of the mistake I just made, I could very well lose the lead. I've really got to defend myself for the race lead if I'm going to get this one pulled off, and I just beat the Corolla. It was just under 0.2 of a second, but I just managed to beat him. And that is very much the benefits of me bolting the turbo onto this thing. Again, I will have to do some research on restrictor plates to find out what exactly they do, but I think I've given a brief description on what exactly they do. And well, just because I think I'll probably have some stronger shots from the longer race, I think this is exactly what I am going to put myself down to. Anyways, let's now collect our prize car. And what are we going to win today? We win... we win another Lancer Evo 6. What a surprise. And I am more than certain in saying that I already have one of these things. God damn it. Anyways, 2 events left. As of which we have Swiss Alps, and then we have Route 5 Wet. Anyways, so at the completion of that, we are now 84.5% complete, and we also now have a total of 330 race starts under our belt, as well as 278 wins, following the errors in this game that I made earlier on. And as for our prize car, well, because I'm pretty sure in saying that I already have one of these things, and yep, here it is. And let's see. So here it is. Well, I already have one of these things, and well, since I have no optimal usage for this thing, I'm going to do the only sensible thing I can, and that's just sell it. But yeah, that's the prize car we win from Smoky Mountain Reverse, and next time we shall be doing Rally of Alps, but in reverse. Stay tuned for more of Gran Turismo 3.